Hey, what's up you guys? If you're going to be towing a trailer with your Ford Escape, you got to have trailer wiring installed on your vehicle. It's required by the law. Come on, let's go ahead and break this install down and get right to it.
You will need the tools seen here to complete this installation.
Okay, so our trailer wire connector is going to have 4 attachment points. We're going to have one behind the driver's side taillight, one behind the passenger side taillight. We're also going to have a ground that we're going to attach behind the taillight area or under the vehicle, whichever we find is best or suitable for this vehicle. And then we have a power lead that's going to run from the back of the vehicle up to the front in the engine compartment to the battery. So we're going to go ahead and start with connecting behind the driver's side taillight. We'll have to remove that to get to the connectors. And we'll start by taking these clips off, and I'll get a flathead screwdriver and just pry them out here. Okay, so we're just going to take the edge of a flathead screwdriver, kind of push it in and pry these caps out. It'll expose the 8mm screw here. I'll just take our electric drill, an 8mm socket, unscrew these. Okay, so now before we start taking this light out, I want to go over a couple things that'll be helpful when you're removing your taillight. It is not that easy to get out. There's going to be a couple of retainers here going into the body here, into some body plugs. And then on the side of the taillight here, there's just a retaining clip that slides out. So you do not need to pull out on this part of the taillight. Basically, the whole taillight is going to come out this way. I've already removed this taillight once just to take a look at what we're dealing with here. It did take about 10 hard pushes out towards the rear of the vehicle to get it out. So basically, we're just pushing out just like that. And then I'm going to show you these retainers here and the clips. So starting at the side here, it's just a slide out retainer. And then towards the rear, a couple of retainers here that go into body plug here and here. And then again, the whole light just slides right back. And then we now have access to the back of the taillight where we can get to our taillight connector. So we're going to go ahead and unplug that for now. Just press this button down, pull straight out, and we'll set this aside here. Okay, so our next step is to get the driver's side connector, which is the yellow and brown wire, under the vehicle and then up through the paneling here to get to our connector. To make that easier, I'm going to go ahead and remove this 8mm screw here and then one down below it here. That'll allow us to pull the body back, bumper fascia back a little bit so that we can slide that wire harness up and into this area. Let's go ahead and do that. You can see that pulls back a little bit, giving us some room to pull this wire through. Next step is I'll run some fish wire down to the bottom here, tape it up, and then just pull it straight up. We'll go ahead and do that now. Okay, so I've just got some hard wire here, and I'm just going to push it down through the bottom of the taillight, through the fascia. It's going to come down the side here, and then end up underneath the bumper. Okay, now that we have our fish wire ran down, I'm going to go ahead and tape it up to our connectors here so that we can just pull from the top and it'll just go right up with it. Okay, we're ready to pull up on it now. Okay, so now we've just pulled it out to this point here. We've actually unclipped this piece here. It just pulls right out. Now we can just push the wire all the way up to the top, slide it around here, and leave it right in this position. I'll go ahead and take my tape off here. Okay, now we have our connector. Now we can go ahead and make our taillight connection here. This is coming from the vehicle end. Just plug one end of our T connector in. So you hear it click. Now we'll grab our taillight with the other connector on it. Again, it's right here. Okay, and that's our driver's side. We can go ahead and put our taillight back in and then push our body back together here, and we'll get our passenger side wires run over. Last, we'll put our clips back in. Okay, we'll go ahead and move underneath and route our wire over to the passenger side. Okay, our next step is to get our passenger side routed behind the bumper here over to the passenger side, avoiding any moving parts or hot parts like the exhaust that can melt the wire. There's several brackets up there that we can attach to, so we'll go ahead and start routing that now. You can see that they've also given us plenty of wire to get over there. Okay, it looks like there's going to be a pretty big gap here where I don't have any brackets up behind the fascia. So what I'm going to do is attach to these upper fascia brackets here and here as I keep moving over towards the passenger side. And I'll do that with zip ties. And I'll go ahead and pull any excess wire so it doesn't drop down on the exhaust. Okay. Okay, now we'll go ahead and keep moving over. I'll go ahead and go behind the bumper beam. Okay. Perfect. So we are now routed safely over to the passenger side with just enough room to get up to the taillight. We can go ahead and start taking our taillight off now to route it up. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start by taking off the caps here again. We'll just stick our blade of our flathead screwdriver and pry around until this cap comes off. There we go. Okay. We'll go ahead and take our 8mm socket. Screws. And while I'm here, I'll go ahead and take the bumper fascia screws off as well. Okay, now we can go ahead and remove our taillight. Again, these guys come out pretty difficult, so they slide straight back. You do not pry back this way, just straight back. And it takes a couple of bumps, up to 10 at least, just to pop it out like that there. So we'll go ahead and show you our connector here. Press the button, slide right out. We'll set our tail light aside. Now we're gonna go ahead and take our fish wire and just run it down again like we did on the driver's side. Okay. We'll just tape the two together and pull straight up and get it up by the tail light. Okay, we're ready to pull it. Okay, just enough room. We'll go ahead and take our tape off and make our connections. We can go ahead and put our screws back in. And lost our screw caps. Okay, we are ready to make our next step, which is connecting the ground wire and then running our battery lead to the positive side of the battery in the engine compartment. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and attach the ground here underneath to the bumper beam. I'll go ahead and route it here. This looks like a nice place right here, so I'll set it there for placement. We'll take our electric drill and make our ground. Perfect. Okay, so we have the tail light connectors connected, we have the ground wire attached. Now our next step is to get the power lead anchored to our converter box up in here and then route it directly to the positive side of the battery. Few tips when you're running this wire: take your time, choose your route carefully, avoid any moving parts, any exhaust hot parts that can melt the wire. I like to follow the brake lines because the manufacturer of the vehicle has already determined that that's the safest route. So for me, I need to get to the brake lines on the passenger side. If you want to take a look, you can see that they're running on the inside of the passenger side frame there. And that's the point I'm going to get to. I'll run my wire down to the base of the firewall and then run a fish wire down so I can catch my power lead and then just pull it straight up, and then we'll get it connected to the battery. Let's go ahead and get to it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put our butt connector on our power lead coming off the converter box. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and take this power lead. I'm just going to go the same path that I did routing the passenger side connector. I'm going to go behind the fascia here and then down the passenger side until I get up to those brake lines. Over this filler tube. Okay, then we'll go ahead and just follow it around. Okay, so I am following some of these filler tube brackets here to get past some of the moving parts on the suspension here. Okay, now I'm just gonna go on the outside of the gas tank here, follow these lines. Okay, now we've got ourselves over to the brake lines running up to the firewall there. So I'll go ahead and start using these brackets to run my wire through until I get to the bottom of the firewall. Okay, we're at the base of the firewall. Now we're ready to run a fish wire down the engine compartment to our wire down here, and then we'll tape it together and just pull it straight up into the engine compartment. Okay, so we're in the engine compartment. Our battery is under this cover here on the driver's side, and our wires are going to be down below on the passenger side. So we're just going to follow these brake lines along the firewall and go straight down with the fish wire here. Okay, we should be right next to our wire there. We'll go ahead and go down below and make our connection. Okay, here's the wire that we ran down from the engine compartment and the end of our power lead from our converter box. We'll go ahead and just tape the two together. Okay, now we'll just go up in the engine compartment again and just pull straight up, and our wire will follow right up the brake lines there. Okay, we're back up in the engine compartment. We're just going to pull on our wire here until we the end of our lead. Pull it tight so we get all the slack out of it. Okay. Perfect. Now we can go ahead and route it over to our battery here. Okay, now that we have our power wire around to the front there, we're going to go ahead and clean it up with several zip ties. You can never use too many, so go every 6 inches or 12 inches and zip tie up so that the wire doesn't ever have a chance to fall down or come loose, anything like that. So. Perfect. I think we got it. Okay, we went ahead and routed the wire from the passenger side over to the driver's side along the back side of the firewall there. You can see how we made it across, and then we ended up right to our fusible link here that's going to be connected to the battery. and the battery is located right here. You just simply take this cover, pull it up and pull it away, and it exposes our positive side of the battery. This is going to be our connection point here. We'll go ahead and get our socket and ratchet ready and make our connection. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and take a 10mm socket, carefully put it over the nut on the positive side of the battery and take it off here so we can make a feasible link connection. Okay, and it looks like it's got a stopper on the nut here. No problem. We'll go ahead and take our ring terminal here. And we're just going to make a small little cut on both sides so we can slide it right over the bolt there. We'll go ahead and do that now. And there's a nice little groove. I'm not sure if you can catch it here in this cover, or our wiring can be rammed through just like that. Okay, now we'll go ahead and just take our ring terminal that we cut, slide it in over the stud here. Just like that. Now we can go ahead and tighten it back down. Okay, we're just going to put the lid back on. Okay, then we'll put our fuse in our fusible link here. And that will power up our 4-flat. Put our dust cover over the fuse. And now our 4-flat is powered. Okay, our last step is what to do with our 4-flat at the back here. Some places will just kind of loop this around and connect it to the safety chain loop. That doesn't look very professional. Some places will just leave it dangling there, and that's not very professional either. It's a good idea to spend a couple extra dollars to get a 4-flat bracket. They're really easy to mount. I'll show you how to do it. It goes right to the bottom here. We're just going to put a couple of small holes in the bottom of the fascia. Okay, then we're going to use the provided hardware and put it through there, put it up just to get a set. Okay, and then we're going to take the last of the hardware and just push it through our hole, put the backing nut on, and then we'll just take a Phillips screwdriver and tighten it down. And that's how simple it is. Now the next thing we're going to do is just push our 4-flat through the bracket hole. Line up the grooves on the slots on the 4-flat. It's locked in there. Then we'll go ahead and just put the dust cover on. And there's a nice, clean, professional trailer wiring job. Thanks for watching our video. Have fun, be safe, get outdoors. Thanks.
To learn more about the products seen in this video, or to schedule an installation by U-Haul Hitch Professional, visit us online today at uhaulhitches.com.